Can you really get Christian Keys to sit down in front of a camera and deliver a truly shocking confession? That's the question many fans, critics, and industry insiders have been asking ever since his recent comments began circulating online. Known for his commanding screen presence, undeniable charisma, and candid personality, Keys has never been one to shy away from speaking his mind. But this time, the conversation surrounding him feels different, more intense, more layered, and far more revealing than anything he has shared before. Lately, Christian Keys has been making headlines not just for his work in television and film, but for a confession that has stirred serious discussion across social media platforms and entertainment news outlets. The buzz isn't centered around a new project or a red carpet appearance. Instead, it revolves around deeply personal statements he made about his experiences in the entertainment industry, statements that many are describing as bold, vulnerable, and even unsettling. So what exactly did he confess? In a candid moment that quickly gained traction online, Keys opened up about the pressures he faced throughout his career. He revealed that behind the polished image and confident persona audiences have come to expect, there were unspoken expectations placed upon him, expectations that demanded conformity. According to him, the industry often operates with invisible rules, subtle pressures, and a culture that can push individuals to compromise parts of themselves in order to succeed. He described feeling boxed in at times, pressured to fit certain stereotypes or adhere to narrow definitions of what he should be. These expectations weren't always explicitly stated, but they were present nonetheless, lingering in casting decisions, branding strategies, public appearances, and even the way he was encouraged to present himself in interviews. Over time, he said, those pressures accumulated and began to take a significant toll on his mental health. For fans who have admired his confidence and strength on screen, this revelation was jarring. It challenged the perception that success in Hollywood automatically equals happiness or fulfillment. Instead, Keys painted a picture of an industry that can be as demanding as it is glamorous. His confession sparked immediate reactions. Social media lit up with opinions from all sides. Some supporters applauded his honesty, calling it courageous and necessary. They argued that his willingness to speak openly about mental health and industry pressure helps break down harmful stigmas, especially for men who may feel discouraged from expressing vulnerability. Others, however, were more skeptical. A portion of critics suggested that his comments were exaggerated or strategically timed to generate attention. The divide in public opinion only intensified the spotlight on him. Debates unfolded in comment sections and discussion forums. Was he exposing a real systemic issue? Or was this simply another celebrity controversy amplified by the internet? Delving deeper into what he shared, it becomes clear that his confession was not just about personal grievances. It was about culture, about the underlying mechanics of fame and the expectations placed on public figures. He spoke about the constant scrutiny that comes with being in the spotlight. Every move dissected, every word analyzed, every photo judged. He described the exhausting effort of maintaining a perfect public image. The entertainment industry, he suggested, often demands flawlessness. There is little room for imperfection, vulnerability, or deviation from a carefully curated persona. And when someone dares to step outside of that framework, backlash can be swift and unforgiving. One particularly compelling aspect of his comments centered on masculinity. He reflected on how traditional ideas of masculinity have shaped the roles he was offered and the way he was expected to behave publicly. Strength without softness, confidence without doubt, authority without emotional complexity. These narrow definitions, he implied, can be suffocating. By acknowledging the emotional strain these expectations created, Keys opened up a broader conversation about how male actors, especially those in high-profile roles, are often denied the space to express vulnerability. In an industry where image is currency, admitting to anxiety or depression can feel risky. Yet he chose to do so anyway. Perhaps the most impactful element of his confession was his candid discussion of mental health. He spoke openly about experiencing anxiety and depression, conditions that are often misunderstood or minimized. He explained how the weight of constant public scrutiny, combined with professional pressures, gradually eroded his sense of balance. There were moments, he suggested, when the stress felt overwhelming. For many viewers, this admission resonated deeply. Mental health struggles are not confined to everyday individuals, they affect people in every profession, at every level of success. Hearing a well-known actor articulate feelings of anxiety and emotional fatigue served as a powerful reminder that fame does not provide immunity from personal hardship. At the same time, his comments also raised uncomfortable questions. How does the entertainment industry truly treat its talent behind closed doors? What systems exist to support actors who are struggling? And why does vulnerability still provoke skepticism rather than empathy? Some observers noted that Keys' willingness to speak out could encourage others in similar positions to share their experiences. When high-profile figures talk openly about mental health, it can normalize conversations that were once considered taboo. It can also challenge audiences to rethink the way they consume celebrity culture. It's easy to idolize public figures without considering the cost of maintaining that image. Fans often expect constant access, continuous content, and unwavering perfection. Social media has intensified that dynamic, creating a 24/7 feedback loop of praise and criticism. In this environment, even minor missteps can escalate into major controversies. Key's confession invites us to question our role in that cycle. Are audiences complicit in perpetuating unrealistic standards? Do we contribute to the pressure by demanding constant entertainment and transparency from celebrities? The backlash he faced underscores how polarizing honesty can be. While many praised him, others dismissed his experience outright. This reaction itself highlights the very issue he described: the difficulty of expressing vulnerability in a culture that prizes toughness and resilience above all else. It's worth noting that the entertainment industry has a long history of demanding conformity. Actors are often encouraged to fit specific molds that align with marketable archetypes. Those who deviate too far from those expectations may find opportunities limited. For someone like Keys, who built his career on strength and presence, stepping outside that framework to discuss emotional strain may feel like a radical act. Another dimension of his confession involves longevity in the industry. Sustaining a career over time requires adaptability, persistence, and a willingness to navigate complex power dynamics. Keys hinted at moments where he felt pressured to remain silent or compliant in order to protect his career. That tension between authenticity and survival is one many entertainers likely understand but rarely articulate publicly. As the conversation continues, some commentators have shifted the focus away from the shock value of his confession and toward the broader themes it raises. Rather than asking whether his comments were dramatic or calculated, they are exploring what they reveal about systemic issues within entertainment culture. There is also the human element. Behind every headline is a person with emotions, insecurities, and aspirations. It's easy to reduce celebrities to characters in an ongoing drama, forgetting that their lives are not scripts. Key's decision to speak openly reminds audiences that public figures are multifaceted individuals navigating pressures most people never experience. In many ways, the reaction to his confession mirrors society's evolving relationship with mental health. Conversations that once occurred privately are now unfolding on public platforms. This visibility can be empowering, but it also exposes individuals to criticism and doubt. Some industry analysts suggest that his openness could mark a turning point not necessarily for him alone, but for how vulnerability is perceived among male actors. By addressing themes of masculinity, emotional strain, and public expectation, he has contributed to a dialogue that extends beyond his personal story. Still, the question remains: can someone orchestrate a truly shocking confession on camera? Authenticity cannot be manufactured indefinitely. Audiences are increasingly adept at detecting insincerity. The reason Key's comments resonated is likely because they felt genuine, less like a publicity stunt and more like a moment of truth. The intensity of the response also reflects the power of narrative. When a well-known actor disrupts the storyline audiences have constructed about him, it creates cognitive dissonance. People are forced to reconcile the confident figure they admire with the vulnerable individual describing anxiety and pressure. As this story continues to unfold, it will be interesting to see how Keyes navigates the aftermath. Will he expand on his comments in future interviews? Will the industry respond with greater openness about mental health support? Or will the conversation gradually fade as the next headline takes its place? One thing is certain: his confession has sparked meaningful dialogue. Whether one agrees with him or questions his motives, the issues he raised are real and worthy of examination. The entertainment world may be built on performance, but the emotional realities behind the scenes deserve attention. Ultimately, Christian Key's candid remarks serve as a reminder that success and struggle often coexist. Fame can amplify both triumph and hardship. By sharing his experience, he has challenged audiences to look beyond the surface and consider the complex human dynamics at play. As viewers and fans, perhaps the takeaway is empathy. Instead of rushing to judgment, we can listen. Instead of dismissing vulnerability, we can acknowledge it. The pressures of the entertainment industry are unlikely to disappear overnight, but conversations like this may gradually reshape how they are understood. In the end, what makes a confession truly shocking isn't necessarily scandal, it's honesty. And in a world where image often overshadows authenticity, honesty can be the most surprising revelation of all. We'll continue to follow this developing story and observe how the dialogue evolves in the coming weeks and months. The conversation surrounding fame, mental health, and masculinity is far from over. If you have thoughts about Christian Key's confession and the issues it raises, share them and keep the discussion going. Don't forget to stay tuned for more updates, insights, and in-depth explorations of the stories shaping the entertainment industry today. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.